Turn me up some. Whoa, whoa. Turn me up some.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Rant Show. I am, as always, your very lovely and quite sexy host, N7X back with another rant. A quick question for anyone who watches this video. Have you ever planned things out? Like, say, like there's a certain, like towards the beginning of the year, you plan to go on a vacation. Say like it's January, and you'd be like, okay, let's see, mid-May or mid-June, I want to go, and I want to, I don't know, probably go to Myrtle Beach. Invite my friend Christine, my friend Justin, have this big old bash, and that's what I'm gonna do. Or, you know, plan a more long-term plan. So, let's see, I figured by the time I go to college, I'll by then have a girlfriend, okay. After I finish college, I'll still be with said girlfriend, and probably give or take a year, probably so after that, we'll get married, alright, and then we'll eventually have kids. Hopefully by then I'll have an apartment, and that's my goal. Alright, that's what I'm going to set myself to. Alright, cool. And we make plans like that. We all make plans, whether it be big plans, small plans, short-term plans, long-term plans, we all make plans. But I am here to testify, not to testify, but I'm here to tell you from experience that plans always don't go according to the way we want. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to make plans. You need, it's a good thing to set certain goals. But to get into the mindset that those are the goals you want, and life, in no matter what shape and form, is ever going to get in your way, is foolhardy. Because people, it's happened to me, I'm here to tell you that sometimes life can kick you in the rear end. Now, I'm also saying that, like I said, it's not bad to make plans. It's good to set a goal. But to expect that life sometimes, I'm not saying it will, sometimes things, believe it or not, in life do go the way you plan. Life sometimes might throw in a small curve here or there, but for the most part, it stays on that goal. It stays on that path you want. But sometimes it doesn't. Life throws you a curve you don't expect. And sometimes it's good to prepare for that. I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think to see what's the words I'm trying to say here. I think for people to expect that life is just going to go the way you want and the plan you want is foolhardy. And to not at least prepare yourself for something that might happen down the road will leave you in a lot worse shape than it could if you don't expect something to happen and then it happens. Like, say you plan a goal for some time down the road, but then life throws you a curveball. If you don't prepare yourself for something like that that might happen, not saying it will, but if you don't prepare yourself for something that might happen to interrupt that plan, then when that interruption might happen, you'll be a lot worse off when it does, whether it be mentally or physically. Now, I'm not saying that when life throws a curveball into your plans, that curveball is necessarily going to be a bad thing. Like, there might be something, like the college example I just gave. Some guy plans to have a girlfriend by the time he goes in college. Then a year after college, he gets married to her. And sometime after that, they have kids. And then in the middle of him making this plan and this plan going out, life throws him a curveball. Now, this curveball necessarily, believe it or not, doesn't have to be a bad thing. It might be something he doesn't expect. Let's say he doesn't get into the college he wants. Or he doesn't get into the college period. You know, he has fine grades and all during his high school life, but for whatever reason he can't get into the college he wants. He doesn't expect that, so what does he have to do? You have to get a part-time job till he finds something. And in the midst of all this, he's been through a few relationships. Curveball after curveball. Plans aren't going the way he wants. But maybe, just maybe, when he is working that part-time job while still trying to find a college job, at that part-time job, he meets someone. Someone that he truly cares about. And falls in love with. Life might throw you a curveball, but that doesn't mean that that curveball in itself is going to lead to something bad. It might throw a wrench into the plans you have or had. But after that curveball hits, the way your life goes afterwards might not necessarily be a bad thing. Like I said, the example I just gave. Dude expected to go to college, didn't go his way. So in the midst of him trying to find a job, he couldn't get a stable girlfriend. But then he works, while he works at this said time part job, whatever it might be, he meets someone. He falls in love with her. And then maybe down the road they do start a family. We need to not expect, but prepare for any plans we make down the road, whether it be a short-term plan or a long-term plan. We need to not expect, but prepare for life to throw us curveballs. So that way we'll be better prepared if it happens. But we also need to keep in mind that even though life might throw a wrench into our plans, it doesn't mean our life from then on is going to go up shit's creek without a paddle. Yeah, because life might throw you a curveball, but around that curveball might be something else that you might not exactly planned out, but then again, it might not also be something bad in the same aspect. Say you're wanting to get a promotion. Now, you're working your butt off to get this promotion from a job. But then, from a job you have. But then, for whatever reason, the place you work at lays you off. Because they're cutting down because they're not making as much money as they expected. So you have to find another job. And that job might not, and that job you find might not pay as much as the other one did. But you do what you have to do and you work your butt off at that other job till either you find something better or something else happens. Then say like a month after you work at this other job that's not paying as well as the other one, they see your hard work and you get a promotion from that other job. And now you're making 3 times as much as you did at your other job, even if you would have got that promotion and they didn't lay you off. Believe it or not, people, stuff like that can happen. Just because life might throw a curveball into your plans doesn't mean that around that curveball there isn't going to be something good waiting for you. Believe it or not, I'm here to testify to that. Because crap I've planned before has not in any way, shape, or form gone my way. But that doesn't mean that after that curveball is thrown into my path, that something good around the corner still can't happen. It might not be something we planned for, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a good thing. My whole rant I wanted to talk about today is that we need, whenever we make plans in life, whether it be short-term or long term. We need to prepare, not expect, but prepare for stuff that might happen to our plan, for life to throw that curveball. But in the midst of all that, we also need to remind ourselves that even though life might throw you that curveball, that doesn't mean that around that curveball something good can't happen from that. Like the guy who tried to get in college but couldn't get the college he wanted, so he had to work a part-time job. In the midst of that, he's been through a few relationships, and his relationship plan didn't go the way he wanted. But in the midst of all that, while he's working at this part-time job, he finds someone he cares about. He finds someone he falls in love with. Or like the girl who has a pretty stable job and is busting her butt to get that promotion, but then they lay her off, so she has to find another one. And that other job she finds doesn't pay as much as the other one, that laid her off. But she still busts her butt. And then a month down the road, that job she's at now gives her a promotion, and in that promotion she makes twice to 3 times as much as she did at her previous job, even after she would have got that promotion. Believe it or not, people, stuff like that can happen. We don't need to always look at the negative side of things when life throws us curveballs. Because something good around that curveball, around that corner, can happen. But in the same time, if after life throws us that curveball and we just fall into a slump, if we just, stay down in that ditch, how do we expect something good to happen if we don't bust our butt to get out of that ditch and try to make something good happen out of the situation? That's another thing. If when life throws you curveballs and you don't try and get yourself out of that rut, you'll stay in that rut. And I'm almost guaranteeing that it'll be a way, way, way harder chance for anything good to happen out of that curveball that life throws you. You have to pick yourself up out of that. But when you do, there is a much greater chance for life down the road to give you something that you might not have expected, but for life to give you something that's good. Because it can happen. Like I said, I am a testimony to that. Because I am telling you up front, about half the stuff that I planned in my life hasn't gone the way I wanted. But I picked myself up out of that, and good stuff has happened. So I'm a testimony to this. So guys, please take my advice on this. One, whenever you plan something, like I said, whether it be short-term or long-term, don't expect, but be prepared for the curveballs that life might throw you. I'm not saying that your plans won't go the way you want, because sometimes they do, and if they do, good. But be prepared for life to throw you curveballs. And if life does throw you one, don't stay in that rut when it does. Because something might not go the way you planned, but if you get yourself out of that rut and continue to bust your butt with whatever life gives you afterwards, something around that curveball, around that corner, good can happen. Like I said, it might not be something you first expected or that you originally had in your plans, but it can still be good. It can still be good. Something good still can happen out of it. You might find someone that you fall in love with. You might get a promotion at another job and make more money than you ever have before. But be prepared for when life throws wrenches in your way. Don't expect, but be prepared. And when they do, you have to get yourself out of that rut. You have to get yourself out of that rut. And work. And good things can happen. Like I said, if you stay in that rut, when life throws you that curveball, if it does, then there is a way less chance of anything good in the near future anyway to come your way. So if life throws you a curveball, Get out of that rut. If you have to ask for help, it's okay. Find friends, find family, find someone to help you out of that rut, but get out of that rut. Work hard and something good can happen out of it. Alright? I'm a testimony, like I said, I'm a testimony to this. But guys, that's all I wanted to rant about, believe it or not. So please, guys, please do me a solid. No matter what you plan through life, always be prepared for something unexpected. I'm not saying it will happen, but be prepared. And if life throws you that curveball, please don't stay down in a rut, because you can make it through. And although it might not be something you originally planned, life, something good from that curveball can still happen. It might not be something you expected, but after that curveball gets thrown into your plane, something good still can come out of it, if you let it. Alright? But guys, that is it. I'm, as always, your very lovely and very sexy host, N7XCaro. I'll see all my Spark Watchers later. As always, peace, love, and chicken grease. As always, welcome to my domain. And I'll see all you later. I can word write, I swear. I'll see all of you later. As always, and forever,